might note that this is the second year of my service on the selection committee, and it is the second year of some controversy over our selection. We received numerous emails both in favor and opposing our nominee this year, and I would remind the board that we received over 14,000 emails opposing our selection recommendation last year. So the chairman may want to consider in the future replacing me on the committee with a member of the board.
I'll think that.
All right. Let me give you some background here. After two student nominating commissions screened candidates, they recommended 10 students who were interviewed by the Board of Directors of the UC Student Association. The Board of the Student Association nominated 3 students to be considered by the Regents Special Committee. After interviewing the 3 candidates, the Special Committee unanimously recommended Avi Oved, a UCLA undergraduate student, be appointed a regent of the University of California to serve for the period July 1, 2015 through June 30, 2016, and that he serve as Regent-Designate effectively immediately until his appointment as a full regent becomes effective. Mr. Oved is a fourth-year undergraduate student majoring in economics with a minor in global studies and has received the UCLA Chancellor Scholarship and the UCLA Academic Achievement Scholarship. He served as Chief of Staff to the Internal Vice President of the Undergraduate Student Association's Council at UCLA in 2012 and 2013 and was elected Internal Vice President of the student body in 2013-14. He, like the other students recommended by the Student Association, is extremely well qualified to represent UC students on the Board of Regents. We appreciate the rigorous review process undertaken by the UC Student Association. We acknowledge this year's Student Association call for a delay in the confirmation reflected in the letter to us by Kareem Arif, the President of the Student Association. We also note his conclusion in a recent op-ed that even if Avi Oved received outside funding during an earlier student election, it would not violate the UCLA election code. Nor was there any requirement for disclosure of campaign contributions. Therefore, an investigation into whether such contributions occurred or did not occur would be meaningless, because they were admitted, and if they did occur, there would be no violation whatsoever. The committee understands the UCSA's interest in examining issues having to do with transparency of election practices for student leaders. That, however, is an issue to be dealt with prospectively, not retrospectively. Given that Mr. Oved complied with all rules in place at the time of his election, it cannot affect his suitability to serve as a student regent-designate now. And we cannot and should not retroactively determine what UCLA students should or should not provide as part of their election code. Here, as was the case last year, all of the procedures for selection for a student regent have been followed correctly. And we fully agree with the conclusion of the editorial board of the Daily Californian that the confirmation vote should move forward. It may be argued that we did not listen to the Student Association or this year's Student Association. But I can tell you we did, and listening is very different from agreeing. I spent many hours on this, met many times with Mr. Oved by telephone, conferred with our current student regent, spoke with the president of the Student Association. Avi Oved won a campus-wide election. He has been active as in student government for many years. He was one of 3 students recommended to us by last year's Student Association for consideration, and he was unanimously chosen by our selection committee. So it is my privilege to move the S report, the report of the Special Committee to select a student regent. The committee recommends Avi Oved be appointed the 41st student regent for a 1-year term beginning July 1, 2015.
All right, thank you, Regent Kieffer. There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to all the students who came and voiced their opinion about the matter, and thank you to the Regents for conducting a thorough review process. I look forward to working with Avi Oved to advance the student agenda while ensuring that the UC maintains its hallmarks of accessibility, affordability, and quality. since Avi contacted me and informed me of his candidacy as Student Regent-Designate and asked for my guidance through the difficult and challenging application process, I've offered my help and support just as I would for any other student leader who is interested in making the UC a better place through this important position. Unfortunately, today I must vote no on this nomination because of the great discomfort that is being felt by students throughout the system in regards to Avi's nomination. Many will try to make this controversy and this vote about politics or religion, and I'm here to say clearly that it is neither. My vote is a reflection of the discomfort that is being felt by students. The UC system's first and foremost constituents are the 200,000 students that walk through our campuses every day and attend our board meetings in the hopes of having their voices heard. My vote is a reflection of the feelings of a large part of the student community that requests clarity and transparency of their student leader and what is one of the most visible student positions in the state of California. When I began my job as student regent, I promised myself that I would never resort to compromising my values and my integrity, regardless of how difficult of a situation I was in. As a target of much hate and fear-mongering based solely on my political views from outside interest groups that often had nothing to do with the UC, I understand the pressure that this job exerts on students. Yet I expect nothing short of honesty and integrity from myself and my colleagues on the board can attest to that. In making this decision, I must consider the integrity of the position. The student regent is only as effective as the strength of their relationship with the students. It is no secret that the Board of Regents has not always had the most trusting relationship with the student community. The student regent is the board's connection to their constituency of students, and it is greatly troubling that student concerns about the representative are being dismissed rather than recognized in a time when the community should be standing united to enhance and improve the public character of the University of California. My fear is that once again, the divide between UC students and the Board of Regents will deepen and unfortunately encompass the student regent-designate himself. It may be viewed as naive or short-sighted of me to expect that I can vote no on Avi's nomination and simultaneously maintain a hope that we can work together as a productive team to advance student interests. I think otherwise. In this position, the student regents are called upon to use their judgment and from time to time make choices that their student constituency disagrees with. At other times, students speak so clearly about an issue that for the student regent to disregard their views would undermine the credibility of the student regent position and make meaningless the idea of having a student representative on the board. This is one of those times. Avi will experience this incredibly difficult balancing act as student regent-designate over the next year, and I will be there to help him through that, to support him in making tough decisions and guide him through the myriad of moral and political factors that must be considered every time the student regent makes a political decision. With Avi's confirmation comes a great weight on his shoulders of cultivating trust between himself, UC students, and his colleagues on the board. My hope is that moving forward, sincerity, integrity, and complete honesty will be the foundation of this new relationship with students and the University of California. We have time. This is just the beginning of this journey. I will vote no today because students demand it. And tomorrow, I will start the process of supporting the student regent-designate to building a strong working relationship with the UC community so that the UC students can have two excellent advocates on the Board of Regents. Thank you.
All right, Regent Reiss.
I don't have anything written because I didn't think I was going to make comments, but having heard the public comment this morning and having chaired the student selection committee that George served on last year and having moved Sadia's nomination, I just wanted to make a few brief comments as to why I want to support Avi and some context. Last year, when 3 remarkable students were presented to the regents for the selection as the student regent, and we selected Sadia, a lot of controversy was created over that. Again, no surprise, because the issue of Israel-Palestine has a lot of emotions, and a lot of people feel passionately on both sides of that. Sadia had been involved with the Muslim Student Association, and because the Muslim Student Association, one of their agenda items items that they were moving on campuses was a resolution to support the divestment and boycott of Israel, which is their right. It clearly got people passionate about the other side, weighing in on why Sadia shouldn't be selected as the student regent. When Avi was seeking to run for UCLA Student Association, he had a passionate view supporting Israel as a Jewish student, as is his right. So he wanted to run and represent that view as these resolutions were making their way to different campuses. So they each have their right, the regents support everyone's right, whatever we agree. It's First Amendment, it's discourse, it's very important to us. The state legislature had passed a resolution equating a movement to boycott and divest from Israel with anti-Semitism. Myself and we regents chose not to paint that broad brush and said in moving Sadia's nomination that we are looking at her as an individual and do not see her support of that political movement as being an anti-Semitic human being, and we take her at her word, and we looked past that and we agree with that. We are hearing this morning that a person who gave a financial contribution to Hillel to support Avi's candidacy to be a representative in the UCLA, and using his hateful tweets and comments that they've circulated around, and want us to have those comments hold against Avi. And I personally feel that in the history of the United States, that would be a very dangerous road to go down. Do we look at all the supporters of the Muslim Student Association, of Hillel, and of all the student associations, and hold individuals that are member of those associations accountable for the things that their supporters are saying, if the individual themselves has not said hateful things, is not supportive of that position, and in fact the opposite, has stated and has had a record and a history of stating support for all, for peace, for tolerance, for diversity.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, the motion carries.
Thanks for the 1 minute to speak in the worst location and the worst time. And go to the one student regent that voted for it. Woo!
First and foremost, to the selection committee, I'm incredibly honored to have been given the privilege of serving students in the University of California in such a capacity. I'm truly thankful. Now, I've had a lot of leadership roles and positions, but the role of which that I'm most proud of is one you won't find on my resume. I'm a mama's boy, a brother, an uncle, and I want to thank my family. To my mom, your love, passion, and belief in me afforded me the opportunities in my life. Thank you for single-handedly doing that. To my sisters, thank you for being my role models and guardian angels. And to my niece and baby nephew, you both remind me every day why I'm so motivated to do what I do. As I thank my friends and family in the audience, those who couldn't be here today, I feel as though I'm sitting among my new family. We may be colleagues and have a professional working relationship, but I feel as though I'm joining a new family for the next 2 years. Finally, Regent Saifuddin, thank you for welcoming me and serving as a support system throughout the selection process. I'm so excited to tag team the University of California and the state of California with you. I hope to not only carry on the legacy of activism from those who came before me, but to leave my own mark on the University of California. I view the student regent position as a visionary of the board, and to remind us all of why we're here, the students. As your regent, as the student regent-designate, my only allegiance is to the students. We're at a critical juncture in the UC. While our campuses continue to grow to become the most prestigious institutions of higher education, we still have work to do. Threats include dwindling state of support, a shortage of classes and teaching assistants, students struggling to pay for textbooks, and a constant barrage of campus climate issues due to the lack of diversity initiatives. And two of the biggest threats facing college campuses throughout our country are the silent epidemics of sexual violence and mental health issues. Taken as a whole, these concerns place the viability of the UC at risk. Collectively, we can work together to create solutions and move our university forward. I know that the learning curve is steep, but it's certainly one that I can climb. Now, I would like to leave you all with a quote by Audre Lorde. She said, "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." This sentiment of recognizing, accepting, and celebrating differences is one I wish to carry throughout my term as student regent. More important, I believe it is the perspective we need to nurture the diversity of the UC. I'm incredibly excited to serve and to unite and excite the UC community. Thank you.
Thank you, Avi. Again, congratulations, and we look forward to working with you and with Sadia, of course. So, thank you.